looking at everything in general, was a PS3 bundle for $28, hoping that it was either legit or a seller that made a price mistake. I bought 50 of them, and then an hour after I made the purchase, unfortunately, it said that the seller had been kicked off eBay. It's like, it's all good, if you get your item and whatnot. Otherwise, please contact us. And knowing this, I called eBay and I got my money back. But other people said that they apparently shipped, so I'm not sure what was going on because it went to some Chinese name with PayPal. I don't know if they'll get their PS3s or not, but sometimes people just price things wrong, or with auctions, people will enter something in wrong. There's websites that you can enter in a word and it'll put in common misspellings, and then you can take advantage of the misspellings.
And for anybody, let's see, that is eBay misspellings. I'll get you the link real quick for that. It's called Typo Bay.
And there may be others, I don't know. I haven't done so in a while just because I found it's not the most efficient use of my time. And while we wait for them to load, there's some other options we can look at. One thing you can do, which I probably should have done, is make sure it's U.S. only. I mean, you can buy games from, say, Canada, but if it arrives damaged or not as described, having to do an international return is just a pain in the butt. You can search by price. Sometimes they'll look like things under $25. I'm not sure how I click that. Or you can look within you say 100 miles of your zip code. With me looking within 200 miles, I found wholesalers and other people that deal in bulk. One of them was in Iowa. I was going to go actually pick up in person. The guy was dealing with target liquidation of cell phone cases, but unfortunately I was just too exhausted come the weekend to go, and he shipped to me. But I found a kid in the Twin Cities that his dad owned the liquidation company. He was getting video games from his dad. And I'm going to look to see what chat messages I have. Oh, that's just the Typo Bay. All right. Let's hide the control panel. So we have some of these that are good now. What I like to do with video games is use the My Buys button. What I'll do is I'll look, and I'll also only compare the current store. Because with Toys R Us and Walmart and Best Buy and stuff, there are often pre-owned games that show up. It's just something that OAXRay can't filter out at the current moment. So I'll just look at the current store. With rank, my parameters are under 25,000, at least 50%, and a net profit of $5 a game. Now, if it's ranked 25,000, I'm not going to buy it if it's a return of 50%, because that's sounding like once a week at best. But the 50% is for, say, the much better ranked items. So I'm just going to hit the My Buys button, and it's going to give me one item. So here it's this selling for 20, ranked 10K, so it's selling once every couple days. And the buy box is $40, and it's from Video Game Supply. I've actually bought this game from this seller before, and they're selling it for $40. Just doing our due diligence. I just want to look at the prime competition, and there's two people that I would be competing with if I buy at $40. So this here is good, and then this opens up another thing. We found a seller that's selling something good, and then once we go through these tabs, we can look to see what else they have that's good. Well, I'll get some of these running right now, and these folks also have good auctions sometimes. But if you're in the audience and you're seeing good games, you may want to go and buy them before someone else does. And that's the nice thing about eBay, is that with eBay, once you can buy all the items at a profitable price from the profitable sellers, and until more pop up, you won't get more competition compared to, say, if you go to Target and you clear the shelf, there could be 1,000 other shelves in the country to be cleared. So I'm just going to because while I'm processing these, the ones here at the top, I like to have others running just so that I'm more efficiently using my time, so that I don't have to sit around and wait as much. Oops, I forgot to do the second page. So those will load while we look at these. And I'm going to compare the current store again. Once this is toggled and you open new ones, like with here, I think it's just being slow, but it's only comparing to the current store now. And I just realized my hand motions probably aren't being seen. So I'm just going to try to use the cursor as much as possible. So here we got two listings. This Monopoly game, and when we're dealing with video games, you want to make sure it's brand new. $23 new, selling for $74. So we're going to take a look at it. It's hard to tell with these photos if they're shrink wrap or not, but sometimes you'll see that they have a photo of an open case. Although here it says previously played game, includes original case and booklet, or in great condition, it looks like it isn't legitimately new, and you can get used copies for $14. So these people, they really annoy me, but there's not much that can be done about it. If I was to message every person I see doing this, I mean, I message some of them, but I'm like, hey, that doesn't look new. They're like, oh, sorry, it was an accident. But I'll buy from people that use a stock photo, and this, of course, is a mismatch here. You can tell just by looking at it. But I'll buy from people that use a stock photo, and it'll say brand new, and it turns out to be a used game. When that happens, all you can really do is return it. If they refuse to accept the return, after so many days, you can escalate to eBay, and eBay will just provide you then with a label to return it. With this one, the photo looks the same, except it says the one on the left says that there's no cable, and the right one is the original, which does have the cable. And this, of course, isn't the same thing. You'll get that. You'll get that with any software. Whoops! Put on the compare current store first. With other items, it makes more sense to not compare current store. Like I won't use it with toys. I was looking today and I found an item at Target that was $20 and selling for $45, with no FBA competition. And OAXRay also can't factor in if they're shipping or not at this current moment. So this here is selling for $18, and they want $3.50 in shipping. Assuming it's new, which I don't know what all this white space here is. If it's really new, which it's really hard to tell, what you could do is send an offer, say, for $4 or $5, and then if if your buy cost would be $8, it would be a great buy because it's ranked at 3K. So make an offer for like $4 or $5. If the make an offer feature is there, use it. You can also use it to just get a bulk discount, or if the seller doesn't have the option of it, you can message them for a bulk discount. I'm like, hey, if I buy all 20 of these, what kind of deal can you cut me? And oftentimes the sellers are willing to work with you because you save them money in shipping and you save them money from having to deal with individual orders. So if we look at these, this does look like it's a collector's edition. It's ranked 19,000, but there's a 165% return on investment. So let's take a look at it. And so they want $14 in shipping. So with that, I'm actually going to set this to the side, because if you can find other items that they have that are worth it, they may be able to come down on the shipping. Because it's selling for $42 plus 4 shipping. You could probably sell for $50 or $60 with the buy box if you send to FBA. It's nice to see that Assassin's Creed Rogue has gone up in price. This here, one of those is for PS3, one's for PS4, so that doesn't look good. And then we can take a look at this. So with Assassin's Creed, they have more than 10 available. They're charging $11 a unit. But unfortunately, this is really odd. The game, I'm pretty sure, should have more sellers because it's an Assassin's Creed game. And of course, here it's $11. So this is just a duplicate listing, so I wouldn't deal with it. Let's look at this Thor game. It's selling for $33, 11K rank, but it's unfortunately from Russia. So that's no good. I'm going to take a look at the questions now. Someone, well, I actually know who you are. I just asked, if I use the compare current store, how do I know if the Walmart or another game isn't selling it for less? Honestly, I don't care. at this point, because I'm just looking for the eBay, because eBay, the commodities are usually pretty limited, whereas with Walmart, they could have 1,000 copies in stock and 100 sellers could find it. I don't encounter, you can't do that with eBay. And I've gone out with things that are worth it, and if 10 sellers have it worth buying from, I'll buy it all 10 sellers. Someone just asked, what are the yellow columns? Those are if OAXRay has guessed the A sign. So I'm going to hit the My Buys here. With Disney Infinity and sets that have plastic figures and whatnot, oftentimes you get mismatches. And someone just asked, these are just randomly, these questions are just popping up now. I did use the eBay, I should have used it for, they're asking why don't I use the search terms to eliminate some of the options, like to check new or the US only. I forgot to hit the US only, although I did check the new. So let's take a look at this Stranglehold game. It's ranked 17,000, which is a sale like every 5 or 6 days or so on average, and unfortunately it's with Canada, so I'm not going to buy it, or I wouldn't recommend buying it. That question panel just keeps randomly popping up even without questions. It's kind of annoying. But maybe I'll get that figured out.
I'm pushing it. This is Jordan. Sorry. As the questions are coming in, I'm just kind of throwing them over to you. So
okay.
If you want, I can just wait until you pause for questions, and I'll kick the questions over to you if you want.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
So here, if we look at it, yeah, sometimes we'll have mismatches. Like these two here are pulling up a FIFA game. And this here doesn't look like that one is actually brand new. But now we get to video game supply here. The folks that we found that game from in the very beginning. So I'm going to hit the My Buys and see what we find. So now we have this Michael Jackson game. Oops, I actually got out of the questions. Oh, it'll come up next time there's a question. So if we take a look at it, there's the Michael Jackson game. And then there's the Family Game Night, which we already found. And so, yeah, I've actually bought these before. They've accepted it for $20, and the buy box is $50. If you check the Keepa, it's under 2K, so that's over a sale a day. It's an awesome selling game. If you can, I mean, they seem to always be popping up with these, and you can also find them at Walmart for $15, $20 too. So that's just a free bolo. So there's one thing from them. So you could add all those to your cart and then request a shipping invoice. See if this unfortunately is 2 different Ninja Turtle games. They both look pretty cool though. I mean, I'm sure they'd be fun to play. And let's hit it with this. And we have Fallout New Vegas and this Cooking Mama. And they're probably going to want shipping. But if it's 7 selling for 17 and 9 selling for 22, if you can negotiate a discount on the shipping, then it'd be worth buying. Also, if you'd happen to be within driving distance of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, perhaps you could arrange something with them where you buy a bunch of games and get a discount for picking them up in person. So let's see if we can find another rabbit hole here with this teacher. Let's see if they, what you do is you just see what items they have. So it looks like these folks are selling a bunch of different things. And so I'm just going to run OAXRay on all of it and not use the My Buys, but instead just use the positive. And another thing you can do is you can look at things that you've bought in the past. These are actual purchases that I've made. I bought these shelves for personal use. I actually OAXrayed them today and didn't find anything. I bought some cell phones. Bought some video games. And what we can do then is with these sellers, we can run OAXRay to see what we can find. And some of these sellers don't have a whole lot. Scroll down some more to Don's Video. I've done very well with them, and they're located in Milwaukee, I think. I mean, I can theoretically drive to them. So let's just hit the positive button, see what we find. So there's that. There's this. That doesn't look to be the same. I don't know anything about auto parts that don't have rank. A lot of this doesn't look legitimately new. But what we can do is we can sort by category and then use my buys for the individual ones. Like I can use a different my buys for toys than what I use for video games. So I'll run OAXRay on these two tabs. And there's just all these rabbit holes that we can take with it. I'll run it on the toys, run it on the consumer electronics, run it on the sporting goods. Well, that waits. Let's grab some more stores to see if these folks have things worth buying, or just things to begin with, because some folks don't have a whole lot to begin with. And you can make a lot of money just repeating from the same folks. I wouldn't recommend buying from Z Carlo, though. I bought from them, and it seems something is always damaged. It doesn't show up here because it was returned, but I had an item that was damaged. These are folks I buy cell phone cases from. I can run OAXRay on them. Those are some other stuff you can buy on eBay. You can't use OAXRay for broken cell phones. You can use it for sellers like this Marcami. But I'll get to the. I guess I'll just get these going. Someone asks, what do I do when the seller puts the wrong UPC code and you don't see it until you've received the game and can only sell a less profitable version? If it when that happens, I've had it happen before, and I've actually just returned. If I can't make money on it. Someone's asking, do I go run OAXRay on all? So asking if I can go slower. So yeah, when I go to someone's listings and I just run OAXRay for everything they have or everything that looks good. So I'll hit brand new items, and with these folks, I'm just gonna hit for all. See what these folks have. Just do it for the new items. OAXRay works really well with CDs, although a lot of the ones you'll encounter on eBay have horrible ranks. So I'll sort by new. Oh, I guess everything's on one page and that. So there's nothing on this one. One thing on this one. Logitech's restricted anyway. See if they have anything new, because a lot of people sell just a bunch of used stuff on eBay, and they're working on features for used with OAXRay, but they haven't worked out all the kinks yet. Sort by new. And with these, I'm just going to sort by positive when it gets to it. As you see, I'm running a lot of tabs. The better your computer and the faster your internet, the better. I currently am just using a laptop with an i5 processor and 8 gigs of RAM, and it seems to do the job just fine. But before, I had a computer from like 2010. It had 8 gigs of RAM, but it didn't have as good of a processor, and my internet was slower, and I could only open half what I have now. So these are video games again, so I'm just going to hit the My Buys. It pulls up a mismatch. My Buys. Case only, so that's not any good. These are toys, so I'm going to do under 100K, see what I find. And we have a Leapfrog carrying case. So it's selling for $50 here. Rank 90K. Let's look at the Keepa. Well, the Keepa's good. It looks like there's a lot of sales, and it's usually better. But that could be that. I guess that was when the price was lower, and it's with free shipping. So one of you could be. Oh, I must have went through this already. Add it to my cart. Well, if someone gets it before me, you can have it. Sometimes pages just don't want to load. Usually it's due to there not being UPCs, so it just doesn't pull anything up. So, yeah, I guess I'd gone through the store earlier. I've been so busy. Uh, let's with this, I don't even know. I think this is electronic-y stuff and sporting goods, so I'm just gonna hit the positive. That's not much of a return on investment there. Let's see what's positive here. Nothing with a good rank. Now this place is open up. Let's see what we have. Nothing. It's a horrible rank. Well, let's just use the my buys. Cut down a lot of the crap. So there's this Beyblade Metal Fusion. What is a bad rank in CDs? I try to keep CDs under 50K. It all depends on, the return on investment, though. Sniper Ghost Warrior, I have like 30 of these from various sellers at my house right now. So they want $1.50 plus $2.60 shipping. So that's $4 a unit, but this seller will discount it. But 4 selling for 12 is pretty good. I mean, it shows sales history. How do I get an invoice for video games to be ungated? Random question. That whole Sony and Microsoft thing allegedly was a glitch. It was allegedly a glitch. The things that are restricted, such as Pokemon titles, I have no idea because most of them came out like 10 years ago if they are restricted, if not 20 years ago. So Sniper Ghost Warrior, so what we can do is with these folks, these particular folks don't do shipping invoices, but they do a shipping discount when you add to your cart. Like right now, if we add 10 to the cart, it will be $16. So instead of paying, or I guess you are, yeah, instead of paying $2.60 a unit in shipping, you're paying $1.60. So you're getting them for $3 each, and they're selling for 12. So that's a good buy. Or a Sniper Ghost Warrior, if we add 10 to the cart, it's also $16.30 a unit. So you're paying $4.60 a unit, selling for 15. That's a really, really good buy. It shows a lot of sales. Let's see if they have any other units that are worth it. Spec is extremely restricted. I wish they were. I mean, I would give up a kidney to be able to sell spec products. And that there is in personal computers, so that's not a proper listing. We can take a look here at these. Make sure they're actually the right item. It's a G-Zip speaker. But after factoring in, well, yeah, it looks like there's some sales. Let's see what happens if we add all 4 to the cart. It says they're all brand new and whatnot. And they still want the normal shipping, so it's $20 with purchase of 11 in electronics. It's just not something I'm comfortable with. Let's look to see what's positive here. Otter boxes are extremely restricted. That doesn't look the same. Oh, I just see that I'm going too fast. So I'll try to slow down. I do this, I mean, a lot. So I apologize for going too fast. So what I'm just doing here is, someone trying to say something, or is that just static?
Sorry, I was just moving my headset. Sorry.
Okay, all right, it's all good. So yeah, I wish they'd have a thing that would tell you if it's restricted or not. But looking at things like otter boxes and spec products, a lot of it is extremely restricted. I've looked at what it takes to get ungated in spec and OtterBox, and it's really not even possible because they aren't a fan of online resellers. There's counterfeits and also Just they don't want their brand to be diluted. Someone's calling me, and I'll hang up on him. But let's look here. That looks to be a mismatch. No, maybe it's not. Maybe that's just the photo actually in use. So image stealth. I'll call you back in 30 minutes. But unfortunately, there's only one review, and it's a sub-rank of a sub-rank of a sub-rank, so that's not worth selling. Let's take a look here. I actually bought those from the seller. I bought them used, and then I'll be selling as used, although I was able to get a better offer for them. So yeah, like things like this, you'll see new other. You can't sell it. They were open box items, and you can't sell. Which right now, with certain categories, new others comes up as new. So you just have to do the math to see if it's available or not. And so I was able to get them for $8 a unit, and I'm going to be able to sell them for like $23 or $24 a unit. The rank is good. They're ranked 13,000 in cell phone cases, which I think that's about 2 sales a day. This one didn't seem to load. Let's scroll down and see if there's anything else. That's restricted, and then we're getting down into things not being worth buying. So now we're back to some video games. So I'm going to hit My Buys. It appears this is just only the game and not with the tablet. That looks pretty open to me, so it's not really new. That looks kind of beat up, so it's not really new. And that doesn't look to be the same. Well, let's get some more of these running.
Hey Tyler, while you're doing that, can I maybe give some advice to some people on the call? Is that cool for a second?
Sure.
So there's been a couple people that have said, "Hey, can you go slower?" And what he's doing and listen to what he's saying. What I'm a relatively new to all of this, but he's going fast through OAXRay because when you go through OAXRay, you should be going fast. You shouldn't be spending a bunch of time on each page. What you should be listening to what Tyler's doing and what I'm getting a ton of value out of is him thinking out loud and telling you what to buy. That's the thing that you should be focusing on right now, not necessarily the clicks that he's going through. I mean, the general idea is go to somebody's eBay store or pull up a list of products in eBay and start using OAXRay on it, just like the other webinars that Chris did, last week and the week before. That's what you should already know how to do that, and you should be doing that on a daily, regular basis so that you can go fast like Tyler's going. What's valuable right now and what you should be listening for is what's going on in his head that he's sharing with you out loud so that you can pick better deals to buy and flip and sell on Amazon. So anyway, I hope that helps with everybody. But yes, the webinar is being recorded and we'll replay it later. But that's what I would be listening for, is not necessarily what he's clicking on, but what he's actually thinking when he's looking at the pages that he's looking at. Cool?
All right. So I have a few here that we can go through, but I'm just going to scroll down some more and get some more sellers. Because these are, TechRabbit, that is a really good seller to look at. Because when I've bought stuff from folks in the past, they're often going to have stuff again. So that, and of course, I mean, you're seeing some of the things that I've bought. There's a story behind those dummy units for another day, and I'm just looking at the folks that I've bought from in the past. How do I figure, someone asked, how do I figure sales based upon sales rank? There's a couple ways of doing that. There's Jungle Scout and there's FBA Toolkit. I like FBA Toolkit personally, but other folks prefer Jungle Scout. I mean, there's nothing wrong with either of them. I just like FBA Toolkit. What I do is I figure that I look at the Keepa and the average sales rank. if it keeps jumping from 5 to 10, 5 to 10, 5 to 10, I do 70, 5 to 10,000, I'll do 7,500, and then what I'll do is see how many sales per day or sales, or if you're using Jungle Scout, sales per month, and then you divide that by the number of people you're competing with for the buy box, and then that's a very, very rough estimate, because with video games, there are also a lot of used sales. So maybe a proper estimate would then be half of that. So if it's selling 2 items a day and you're competing with one other person for the buy box, and half the sales are going to the new buy box and the rest are going to other new sellers or used sellers, then you're going to on average have a sale every other day. Someone's asking, do I have a problem with items listed as new that arrive and are not pristine? And I deal with returning those almost every single day. Off my left here was one of them. I bought this game right here, and it was supposed to be new. It's not, and they shipped it just in a paper envelope. When I get these paper envelopes, I know half the time it's not even going to be new, or it's going to be damaged. It's just very, very unprofessional, and it's very, very cringe-worthy. So that's what. Just file a return, you'll get your money back. So let's run it on some of these. No, this only has 14 things. I'm going to deal with some of the bigger sellers so that we can get more done. I'm just going to look at new. Nothing. Nothing. Only 8 things. Although TechRabbit, they have a lot of things, and I can do a lot of out loud thinking with these folks. So I'm just going to OAXRay it. And yeah, I've bought from these folks multiple times, and I've done well. Yeah, those are the Sniper Ghost Warriors. Those were those OEM things I bought from the Cellulose Stimulus folks. Are those still? Wow. Don't buy from this seller. They took forever to ship. I don't know if I've ever received that yet, so. Oh, it's coming from Hawaii, so it's okay. So I'll get more of these running. Oh, yeah, I'll get more of these running. Looks like this seller has a lot of stuff. I'm only going to touch on a few of these things. I'll do the ink, even though some of it's restricted, some of it isn't. With the cell phones and accessories. And we'll do the video games. New. Let's get OAXRay running for these ink cartridges. With ink, you'll find some is restricted and some isn't. You also want to make sure that it isn't expired. If it's expired, it can be sold on eBay, but it can't be sold on Amazon. I bought some just 2 days ago at Walmart for $5, selling for $14. Some was restricted, some wasn't. You just have to scan it. Someone is asking, how many hours a day do I spend with OAXRay? Some days I'll spend absolutely no time if I'm on the road, but other days I'll spend 3-4 hours using it. The more you use the software, the sharper your skills will get, and the sharper that your skills get, the more deals you'll find, and the more time you can actually, the more efficient your time will be when using OAXRay.
Yeah, and Tyler, I just want to stop in. I'm not sure. My computer's been frozen and kind of stuff like that. But for everybody who's watching and going, holy crap, Tyler is moving at like the speed of light, and he looks like he's doing this and that and another. Tyler uses this on a daily basis, like intensely daily, and he's become very good at it. So if you are a little bit, not novice, but not up to like snuff with using OAXRay to its full potential yet, this is a great session that, since we're recording it, to go back in once you've used it for about a month to rewatch this. That's why we record these and give you guys the replays, because what Tyler's showing here is incredible, but some of you may be like, holy crap, I don't know what he just did. And you give yourself a month. If you're at this just starting point, then you're going to go, oh, I see what he did there. It makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all about efficiently using your time. It's just like if you go to, I mean, all this is like the equivalent of going to Walmart and scanning an aisle. But this, with OAXRay, I mean, you can scan a big store of 2,000 items in half an hour. So that's kind of what I compare it to. It's like scanning an aisle, but doing so extremely quickly.
It was like you gave Tyler 20 Red Bulls and let him loose in a Walmart.
Pretty much. I mean, I don't do much.
That's the way I'm going to describe it from now on. Just like giving Tyler 20 Red Bulls and letting him loose to scan an aisle.
Yeah. Although I need to use OAXRay more with Walmart, so I'm going to hit the My Buys. And there's nothing. Sometimes that'll happen. If it goes nothing, don't be afraid. I mean, don't be scared. It's not broken. It's just there wasn't anything up to your standards. Sometimes you may have to lower your standards. I talk with people like they only deal with, oh, I only deal with 200 plus ROI. And I'm like, you're a moron. You're leaving a bunch of money on the table. Someone is asking, how much do I spend daily? It all depends. I mean, some days I'll spend a couple hundred. I mean, every single day I spend at least a couple $100. Other days I'll spend like $1,500. This is combining OA and RA, but it is not difficult once you know what you're doing to spend $1,000 in an hour or two with eBay. It could be with OAXRay, or it could be with wholesale or bulk or stuff that doesn't require or doesn't work with OAXRay, because OAXRay is only a part of the eBay that I do. When dealing with like bulk lots and stuff or wholesale lots, eBay with eBay, OAXRay just doesn't work. It doesn't have the smarts to be like, hey, that photo has this, and that, and these are what they're all worth. So let's hit the My Buys, and we get one item, SpongeBob Surf and Skate. I shipped one of these yesterday. So it's selling for $34. Keep if it'll load. It's selling well. Look back at the year and it sells, I mean, even better. And it's $15 free shipping. I can tell from the photo that it has I can tell the shrink wrap, and I can even tell that it's Y-fold. So this is legit. Before I forget, if you get a game and the disc is loose inside, it's okay to return it. You'll get some really pissed off sellers, but ultimately if they refuse to accept it, eBay will force it. I only return them if it's a 360 or a PS2 or whatnot, a DVD-based game. If it's Blu-ray based, like a PS3, a PS4, an Xbox One, or a Wii U game, I just send it into FBA, because with the Blu-ray it has a polymer coating that makes them impossible to scratch, almost impossible to scratch. But the DVD, I've seen DVD-based games and DVDs that come loose, and I've opened it up and the discs have been scratched to oblivion. So let's just do the positive.
Nice nail set there, Tyler.
Yeah, I know. It's a mismatch, and if it's beauty, I'm not engaged in that, but I know a lot of you are.
Oh, wait, you're telling me that you're not engaged in something and you still make money on FBA?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Huh. It's amazing, isn't it?
Like with health and personal care, I have a friend in New Zealand that got ungated while he was living in Alaska before moving to... No, he was already in New Zealand, and he had his mom get he sent a corporate credit card to his mother, had her buy stuff at Target, got ungated, and now when I find health and personal care stuff, we split the money.
There you go.
He's in New Zealand.
I'm just throwing it out there for everybody who thinks they're sitting in a world of not being able to find anything because you're not ungated. If you get one tip from me, since I've kind of been the silent partner today, is you don't have to be ungated to make money.
No.
There are plenty of opportunities out there.
But if it's not an invoice category, if it's jewelry or watches or whatnot, you can go get yourself ungated in 60 seconds. I did so while on a webinar with Chris. I got ungated jewelry in 60 seconds a couple weeks ago. Haven't
Yeah,
used it.
clothing, shoes, luggage, jewelry. You can go do those right now, and that's kind of your takeaway. So if you're going, well, I can't find anything using OAXRay, well, you could start doing some searches for shoes, clothing, or luggage here.
Oh, I
Using
haven't done
the same
anything with that
technique.
with X-ray. I
Yes,
need, I need to.
you can take that side of it, take what you just learned from an eBay sense, translate it over to another category that people have a tendency of being scared of, which shoes and clothing people are scared of all the time. There's kind of this stigma with it. There's a lot of returns. I know that I've made a lot of money off of that stuff, and I know a lot of people who that's kind of their core business model is stuff that no one else wants to sell. And it's amazing how much you can actually sell of that stuff that no one else wants to sell. Wait a second. Was there a lime in there, Tyler, or not?
No?
Oh, well, I thought we were friends, and you don't have a lime in your Corona.
Oh, I've never drank it that way.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. We're going off script here a little bit. Please, if you have any questions, we have about 13 minutes left here, and I want to make sure we get them in. So I'll let Tyler finish up what he's saying here, but we'll do questions here in about 4 minutes. So please start submitting them now, and we'll get going.
Let's. I'm just going to go real quickly then through some of these tech rabbits. This Belkin, and they're adding stuff. I mean, I went through this like 7 days ago, and I'm sure it's a big company. They're one of the companies that has their stuff like on the eBay Daily Deals, and that's how I actually discovered them. But this, to me, Cinema Dot. This looks to be it. But that rank is usually a sub rank. So what I just do with this, because I mean oh, but no, before you even look at that, it says new in bulk packaging. And sometimes you can sell these things as used, like with those Galaxy S3 chargers, but there's only been one review so far this year, so I wouldn't buy them. I don't know if that's due to the fact that people aren't buying due to the fact that the price is inflated or what, but it's just not something I'm going to deal with. Let's take a look at this. That seems to be a mismatch. That seems to be a mismatch, as one shows dolphins and the other shows taxis. Mismatch. There's a lot of mismatches with this seller, and 635,000 in cell phones is not very good. Spec is extremely restricted. Incipio Atlas. That's okay with the rank. Let's take a look at it. Well, new from 10, selling for 7. Keep it doesn't track it anymore. So that one FBA person is the one up there, because OAXRay goes upon the lowest FBA price. Let's take a look at the reviews. And there's one review so far this year, and it was in February. I wouldn't buy it. I think Fitbit is restricted, and that looks like a mismatch.
And there will always be mismatches. I know that it's something that people get worried about, but since it's the way that the software is designed, there will be mismatches. So just be aware of that. Don't get discouraged if you see them. That means you're getting into stuff that may have gold mines, because a lot of people would dismiss those otherwise.
Yeah. Which I'll sometimes look at them if the item just looks underpriced. But you'll get mismatches with everything. You'll get them with Profit Bandit. You'll get them with Scoutify. You'll even get them with the Amazon Seller app.
Yeah, I mean, I've scanned some water filters that come up as sunglasses.
Yeah, I scanned clothing at Sam's Club today. It came up as a toy that was listed in health and personal care.
Did you get the free samples at least while you were there?
I went there at 9:30, although they did have muffins and coffee at the door. So I had a muffin.
Okay. And is there anything else you want to cover, Tyler, before we start getting into questions?
If we just want to do the questions now, we can. I think I've covered enough ground.
Okay, well, I've got to say, awesome job. And everybody, if you would, hop over to FBA Master right after this and give Tyler some love. Tag him. Don't put any naked cowboy pictures or anything they were posting on my wall yesterday.
What was that with you? Did someone think that would be a really funny
John?
with the
That's
stuff?
But yeah, show Tyler some love. I thank him for giving up his Tuesday night at 8 o'clock to go over some extremely exciting OAXRay stuff, which in reality is really exciting because we're talking about stuff that can make us money. But it just comes to the point where he gives up his time, and it's just awesome. So thank you, Tyler. And let's get to the questions. Start shooting them away. Let's grill Tyler with some of these.
All right. I thought Belkin is somewhat restricted too, someone's saying. So far with cell phone cases and tablet cases with the Belkin products that I've sold, I've never had any issues. I've heard different things about their routers, but I haven't dealt with any Belkin routers. Do I use the Seller Central phone app to determine if electronics are restricted? It's honestly for me more time. It's a more efficient use of my time just to hit the sell button to see if I can sell it.
And there's the difference.
When I'm on my PC.
Yeah, when he's on his computer, it's quicker to do it on the computer. If you're in the store, it's quicker to do on your mobile app. So that'd be I agree with him 100%. Tyler's very good at minimizing the amount of time needed to do something.
Can I run OAXRay on Chris's store? Well, I don't know Chris's store, so no. And if you would somehow know Chris's store, number one, it would be kind of a dick move to do it to him. But just for stores, you can use OAXRay, but it's a lot quicker to use Storefront Stalker.
If you want to search my eBay store, you can see all the wonderful shoes I'm trying to sell right now that are on the flea market side of things. There's not that many on there, so I don't usually sell a lot on eBay.
Okay. Do I buy DVDs above $25 price? It's a story for another day, preferably with a few beers involved, but I do not deal with DVDs because I was kicked out of the category. You could have heard the story if you were at the night before the Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference. What percentage of sellers on eBay do I think sell on Amazon? I don't know, maybe 15%. But I found sellers that I compete with them on Amazon, and they're lowballing or something, but it's not lowballing enough to buy from them. And I've actually found them on eBay they have the same store name, and they're even cheaper on eBay. And then I negotiate an even lower price on eBay, and I buy out all their inventory, make money, and get rid of a lowballing competitor.
I think he just inceptioned us there. I think that was a dream inside of a dream inside of a dream, and awesomeness.
Yeah. Do I expect to turn inventory every 30, 45, 60 days? What do I do with stock that lags? Honestly, I'm not that in-depth in everything. I just sell stuff, and with the metrics that I buy it, if it's going to take more than 60 days for everything to sell, I better be making a heck of a lot of money on it. I mean, a lot of things that I get, they sell within a week of hitting the warehouse, or at least some of the units do. Do I ever flip Amazon to eBay? No, but if you want to discuss that, go to eBay Master. Joey B will discuss things like flipping DVDs to eBay from the Amazon Daily Deals and whatnot.
I've got two here, Tyler. I got one that says, can you explain in more detail of the CSV shop on Storefront Stalker? Bring that up in our Facebook group, and I'll bring in Nate to describe exactly how to do that. So I cannot do that right this second, but we can do that later. I got Karen says the same thing. So now, I hope someone's giving you props on your flow. It says, now if you want to find the items, come up on a different UPC code, or use Flow app and find them all on Amazon because it tracks photos.
Oh, yeah. That works. Flow also works great with not high school, but with college textbook selling groups. I used it with that a lot back when I was in Alaska. Someone is concerned about items with new items that are being beat up. If it's beat up and if it's not, well, Amazon and eBay really have the same definition of new. New is supposed to be new, and there's some things you can get away with. I mean, if it's an air filter for a car, a guy buys it, he's going to put it in his car. He really doesn't care if the box is a little dented, but if it's a toy or if it's a limited edition video game or something, people are going to care. And if it's not new on Amazon, it's also not new on eBay. People get mad. Oh, I only played it 3 times. It's still new. I'm like, does it have shrink wrap? Does it have the original seal? Is it everything intact? And the disc is scratched. This isn't new. Anyone else have any questions? Anyone?
Tyler, someone's asking, Amanda here is asking, what are the light bulbs on OAXRay?
Oh, yeah, I answered that earlier, but those are for the guess a sign feature. It'll say no a sign if it can't correlate them, but what it'll then do is search by title, I believe. And that would be a good question to get further answered next week when Todd and Tedrick are on.
Yes, that'd be perfect for that. Anything else you guys have?
I'm going to turn my screen off.
Okay, well, I thank everybody for joining us this evening. We're going to end this just a few minutes early here. Next week we have Todd and Tedrick. I know we have at least Todd. I got to see if Tedrick will be joining us or not. They're actually the masterminds behind the software OAXRay, and they're going to be talking about some of the new features that are getting released soon, some of the ones that have just been released, kind of the future of where that's at, and we'll also be rewarding, not after the end of next week, 40 hours of VA service for anybody who's attended last week's session, this week's session, and next week's session. So if you have been one of the faithful who have joined for all of this, we are excited to be able to give something away to you, and I hope you guys have enjoyed some of this. You've seen that last week we posted a few extra bonus videos in the Facebook group. So if you guys are on there, you should be able to see those extra bonus videos. If you have questions, please post them in the group. We have Todd and Tedrick, myself, Tyler, Mike, and John, kind of our whole crew there to kind of filter out questions, answer them as quickly as possible, and just make sure you guys have an overall great experience with learning the software. And like I've said multiple times, the software isn't for everyone, and we're not trying to sell it to you. We're just trying to teach you how to use it. If you choose to use it, great. If you don't, that is great. But if you've never tried it, I do recommend. You guys have been through 3 very intense training sessions now. Now would be a pretty good time to start a free trial, a 10-day free trial of it. Once you start giving that tried, or you start playing around with it yourself, you're going to come up with more questions. You're going to want to learn a little bit more, and that's where that Facebook group over the next 2.5, 3 weeks is going to be really valuable. So if you guys need any of that stuff, feel free to reach out in the Facebook group, shoot us an email, do whatever you need. But I do want to take the time to say thank you to Jordan and Tyler. Jordan's been kind of the silent guy in the background who's volunteered his time to allow more than 50 of us on this at a time. So a big shout out to Jordan. And I just want to say thanks again, Tyler, and I look forward to seeing everybody next week.
Yeah, next week should be fun. All right, have a wonderful evening or day or whatever time zone you're in, everyone. Chris, I guess you can say any more closing remarks if necessary.
Okay, see you guys.
All right, bye.